eagle that was flying. As the eagle was flying, it looked down in a river. It looked down in the river and it saw a fish that was caught in a block of ice. The eagle flies down to get the fish that's caught in the block of ice. When he lands his claws on the block of ice and starts chipping away, because it's cold, his claws get frozen in the block of ice. Now they're coming up on a waterfall. The eagle tries to fly away, but his claws are frozen in the block of ice. So now the block of ice, the fish, and the eagle fall to their death. What happened to the eagle? What turned him on turned him out. He saw something that turned him on, and it ended up turning him out. Do you think a crackhead woke up and said, this is a good day to be a crackhead? I think I'm going to lose my teeth, my job, my family. This looks like that perfect day. Do you think an alcoholic woke up one day and said, you know what? I'm going to become an alcoholic. I'm going to get cirrhosis of the liver. I'm going to do it. Do you think a person picked up a cigarette and said, good day for me to kill my lungs? A young lady woke up and said, this is a good day to get HIV and AIDS. That the habits have not covered my mouth. Failed to realize that the power of life and death is in my tongue, not in my hands, not in my feet. I need somebody that's going to help me up in here. You see, I know what it's like to come to church and you really want to change. I know what it's like to get tired of your habits. I know what it's like to get to a place where you say, this is getting old. This mess, I got to come up out of this mess. But see, I don't change until somebody, like Paul says, I beg you by the mercies of God to present your body. I'm tired of people presenting their gift. You trying to act like you a little Kim Burrell wannabe. Don't nobody want to hear all that. Woo, you don't even do it that good. And just because you can run, just because you can play, and people are all caught up in your gift, and they don't know that your life is raggedy. You coming in here playing church, trying to make people think that you saved when you not. When you still got all these habits. Y'all keep up with me. I'm trying to serve God and serve my habits too. I'm talking to young people. Because I don't want to see another group of young people coming to church and think they all right. I don't want you just because some of our leaders have learned how to handle their habits well. I stopped hanging out with a prominent preacher because there were too many habits that was okay. You know, you can hit the cognac and it's all right. We're going to have a little yak. It's all right. Hit a little hen. It's all right. I'm still anointed. You don't understand that God will anoint a place for the sake of the people and they have nothing to do with you. I'm trying to help some young people in here to say, sin is not okay. Where Trey, you all right? You all right? You look like you're confused. You okay? I guess you all right. Because now you're going to play God in a minute. Didn't you say you were saved? We're going to have an altar call today, okay? And I mean, it's especially for people like you. Okay? We're going to have that, okay? I'm saved. I need to play God for a minute. I don't think I can do that. We're going to pray. Got these habits. And I came to Youth Congress. And I brought my habits with me. I came to Youth Congress. And my habits is right up in my cell phone right now. My habit is on my sidekick right now. I can't wait till this is over so that I can really text what I want to text. Because some young people think that cussing in text ain't really cussing. Y'all smooth, quiet. Just because you say, I texted, I didn't say it, you still cussing. And saved folk don't cuss. So when you get to a place where you are tired of your habits, that's when you stop playing with God and you say, wait a minute. If I'm going to renew my mind, something got to come out my mouth. I've got to get to a place where although I'm tied down by my habits, that it gets in my spirit, I need to change. I can't sit up in church and go to hell. I need to change. I can't hear messages after messages and preachers preach about what I'm doing and what I'm going through, and yet and still I stay with my habits. I got to do something about this. So what I do is I began to open my mouth and praise God. I began to give God the glory. I began to forget about those people that are around me, because some of your friends are your main habits. And you worried about what they're going to think about you. And how many of you know that most of your friends know what's wrong with you? They just ain't told you yet. You got to check your friends, because friends will lie to you. Girl, your weave look good. No, it don't. Hello? You got a fine girl and your boy want to holler at her, he will tell you what she did wrong. He'll tell you, don't call her back. Man, forget her. And while you doing that, tell him, yeah, I ain't going to call her back. Forget her. And he called her and told him, I told him to call you, but I don't know what happened. And then before you know it, he with her. How you going to get what? Hey, man, you wouldn't call her.
I don't know what to tell you.
See? See, you know, they sit up in church and tell on themselves. He's telling them, I don't know what to tell you. Listen, but when I began to praise God, I cannot change myself. I want y'all to get that tonight. You cannot change yourself. I spent too many years in church trying to change me. Coming to church trying to change myself. Dressing different. Doing everything they told me to do, but not understanding that the only way my mind can be renewed is that I have to receive the power of God. I like the way they put that. Transformed by his power. So if I was to title that message, it would simply be, let him change you. So now it becomes a matter of your will. What you will allow God to change in your life. As I open my mouth and worship him, Lord, I love you. Lord, I praise you. Lord, I magnify you. God, I need you. That's when God comes. That's when God comes. That's when God comes. That's when God comes and he begins to release me from my habits while I'm sitting there saying, Lord, I praise you. Lord, I glorify you. Lord, I magnify you. I praise you. I give you my life. I give you everything. Lord, I give you all my, and see, I didn't do that myself. It was when I opened up my mouth and I began to call on God that God will release me from these habits, and then I can present my body as a living sacrifice unto God, holy and acceptable unto him. Do you understand that when you open your mouth and begin to praise God, God will begin to break chains off your life? Come on, don't come to a youth conference and go back home with the same habits that you have. You got to get sick and tired of going through what you're going through and say, I'm going to change. Transform by his power.